Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the third episode of Weird with Webster. We got a good one for you today. I'm joined by my good friend, Adriana DoPadre. Adri, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, last week, the Sun Devils, they weren't doing so hot, and when they played U of A.
No, but they're very lucky Arizona is a second half team. That's all I'm going to say about that.
So they lost 67 to 56. So that got me thinking, why don't we do a bizarre history of the Territorial Cup? This is the oldest rivalry trophy, I should say, in all of college football. Did you know that?
I actually did.
So it is my understanding, too, that you grew up quite the Arizona fan in this rivalry.
I grew up a huge Arizona fan. I'm from Sierra Vista, Arizona. And if you want any idea of where that is about hours south of Tucson. So the University of Arizona has a huge influence on that region of Arizona. So huge Wildcat fan. I know their fight song.
You know the fight song?
I do know the fight song.
Oh boy, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how. Could you sing it for us?
Not on ASU property, because I know ASU fight song. If that helps.
That does, yes. That's much better. And so the first ever Territorial Cup meeting, we have to go back all the way to when ASU was called the Normal School in 1899, and the Normal School won the first Territorial Cup by a score of 11-2. Very, very common football score.
Oh, very common. The Go Normal School Bulldogs.
So they won that on Thanksgiving Day, and now it's called the Territorial Cup because at the time Arizona it wasn't a state yet, 1912. So the Territorial Cup. But then it got lost basically after the Normal School won it. So it wasn't found till the early 1980s, and it was found in a church adjacent to ASU. It is the oldest rivalry game trophy in all of college football. And in 2001, the two teams agreed the winner could present it at their campus. And now the original one has a copy, and that's the one that they celebrate with on the field. But even before there was a trophy on the line, these teams did not like each other. Now,
they absolutely hated each other. Still do.
Mm-hmm. Sorry about that, but they hated each other. So I just messed up. Sorry, Adri. I played a promo there. Yeah, I'm really good at this. I'm still getting used to this. Adri's over here laughing, but I'm still getting used to this whole radio thing. So cut me some slack, Adri.
No.
Oh, okay. So I'm not gonna hear the end of that one for a while. So from 1899 to 1948. The Wildcats won all but two matchups, the one being in 1899, and then ASU also won in 1931. But ASU really struck back from 1965 to 1981, as U of A won only two of those matchups, and now the all-time series is really close. U of A currently leads the series 49-45 and 1, the one tie coming in 1987. So now let's get into some notable matchups. First, are you surprised by how close this is? Like, both teams have gone on these streaks of dominance. Is that something that you see commonly in this rivalry?
I'm going to be honest with you. Arizona is not a football school, so I'm actually surprised that they are ahead by 4 wins. I thought it'd be ASU ahead because ASU is the more football school. I mean, the Cardinals played at Sun Devil Stadium. We hosted a Super Bowl at Sun Devil Stadium. So I'm very surprised about that record, actually.
Now, despite Arizona being on top of the series, would you say that ASU is the better, the college football team that runs Arizona? Would you agree to that?
Oh, 100%.
That's interesting because a lot of people say because of the all-time matchup and the history of the all-time matchup, Arizona would be technically the school's all-time football team, but
how many Wildcats have been to a Rose Bowl? I can answer this. How many Super Bowls do the Cardinals have? 0.
0. You want to know why? Well, we talked about that a couple weeks ago, why the Cardinals don't have any Super Bowls. It's a big old curse thanks to the Pottsville Maroons. I've told you about that. So let's get into some notable matchups. First off, we're going to talk about we're going to go, the largest margin of victory was U of A defeating ASU 67-0 in 1946. Now ASU just came up 4 points shy of this mark in 2020 when they absolutely steamrolled the Wildcats 70-7, and I'm sure every ASU fan has fond memories of that game.
That was a very fun game. On Twitter, I quote tweeted one of the things saying 911, what's your emergency? I liked reporter murder in Tucson as it was the third quarter. Because that score was just amazing.
It was, and I'm sure you have friends from Sierra Vista that go to U of A now that you like to brag about that game.
Oh yeah, and they hit me with the 67-56 score. But you know, if there wasn't limits on like comments or anything, or I could do like a voice memo on Instagram comments, you know, they'd be humbled.
They'd be humbled quick. And then in 1958, Arizona at that time was not an official university, and this is kind of where the whole rivalry kicks off. So ASU was not an official university at the time. They were actually called ASC, Arizona State College. And so the day of the first game at Sun Devil Stadium, there were U of A fans who broke into the stadium and burned into the grass no on Proposition 200. Now, Proposition 200 at that time was to make Arizona State an official university, as the whole city of Phoenix and the valley was growing. And that's what really made it a personal rivalry. So Proposition 200 passed very easily, and ASU went to Tucson later that year and blew out U of A 47-0. And there were some things that came up as well, but that's where the nastiness of this rivalry really set in. And they weren't playing for a Territorial Cup at this time. They were just playing purely based on pride at that point.
I mean, a bunch of college kids, you know, we all got that ego, and we gotta prove our school's better than the other school down south. In the words of the James Hood, or band director, Nogales Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
The school down south.
Oh, Nogales Tech. Oh, okay. That makes sense now. It's like Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech is actually good at football. Sometimes. But then, okay, moving on. 1968. This game was going to decide who won the Sun Bowl. Some people say this is the best game of the rivalry. U of A head coach Daryl Mudra, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name, but he was complaining that the Wildcats should be picked no matter what, and if they weren't, then U of A would not play in the Sun Bowl. So regardless of who won, U of A was not going to play in the Sun Bowl unless the Sun Bowl committee told them before the game against ASU that they were going to the game. What do you think about that?
I wish kind of bowl games were played that way. ASU could have been, because I was at the Las Vegas Bowl. It was freezing cold, you know. If the Holiday Bowl didn't get canceled, I would have done the same thing. But ASU is not going to perform until we go to the Holiday Bowl, because it probably was warmer there.
So Mudra gets what he wants and is told that they are playing in the Sun Bowl, and then they lose to ASU 30-7. So the better team doesn't go on to play in the Sun Bowl. And this would become known as the Ultimatum Bowl, and this led to the creation of the Fiesta Bowl, which was the default bowl for ASU to play in if they got no other bids. It obviously became much bigger later on with the college football playoffs and multiple national championship games being played there. And guess what the Wildcats did in that Sun Bowl?
I don't know. What did they do?
They lost to the Auburn Tigers. War Eagle. They lost to them 34-10. Auburn, you know, they're a good football team, and they're a good basketball team now, too. Number 1 in the nation, I believe, still. So, you know, shout out to Auburn. My dad went to...
I love you, Queen.
My dad went to Auburn. I was at the Iron Bowl this year. It was a painful loss for him in, I think, like 4 or 5 overtimes where they are doing the 2-point conversion. What do you think of the 2-point conversion compared to the NFL overtime?
I like seeing both sides get the ball because then momentum shift, and I feel like the ball is more entertaining. So when only one team gets the ball and they score and they win, I'm like, what was the point of me wasting 8 minutes to watch overtime? I'd rather see both teams get the ball because, you know, maybe they could pull out something cool, like a cool little trick play we haven't seen before in the regular season.
Do you think Josh Allen would currently be in a Super Bowl right now?
Easily.
If they were playing the college football rules?
100%. Joshy Poo, if you hear this, I love you, man.
But you also like Joe Burrow a lot, too, huh?
Oh, Joey Bear.
Moving on from the NFL and overtime rules talk, because I'm sure we could go forever with that. In 1985, U of A got revenge for that game in 1968 as they upset ASU, who was a win or tie away from the Rose Bowl. Instead, the Sun Devils lost and then lost in the Holiday Bowl, so that 1985 team just one step away from going to the Rose Bowl could not get it done. And then throw it back 10 years, so back in 1975, there was a game titled The Catch. So ASU is ranked number 8 and U of A is ranked number 12. I'm sure that's the highest we'll see them ranked for a very, very long time, as both programs seem to be kind of losing some traction here.
Rebuilding. Somehow Arizona has a really good football recruiting class, so we'll see how that season plays out.
Would you rather have Arizona's recruiting class or Jackson State's recruiting class?
Jackson State has some good recruiting. Get back to me next week on this. I got to think about it.
So ASU falls behind 14-3 in this game in 1975, but they scored just before halftime when John Jefferson goes full extension, and I cannot describe this play as well as you just have to see it with your eyes. He goes full extension and dives to cut the U of A lead to 4 before halftime, and that sparked a second half comeback. ASU would win the game 24-21, and ASU would go on to go undefeated and finish the year ranked number 2 in the nation, and they also won the Fiesta Bowl. Now, Arizona, who cares what they did? So this rivalry, historically, it's been more sided towards Arizona State in these bigger favorable games that you lock onto. Do you have any instances where Arizona had anything good happen to them, any basketball games or anything? We know Arizona basketball has been notoriously dominant over Arizona State for quite a long time.
Oh, I wouldn't necessarily say football. I mean, I was at the Arizona UCLA game when the fans went on the field and caused a fight. Oh, yeah, I was on the visitor side. I can't tell you what section, but I remember that game because the game stopped and we're all like, what's going on?
Was this a football or a basketball?
It was a football game.
Okay.
Yeah, if you Google it, I'm not sure when it was, but it was the UCLA-Arizona football game where the fans snuck on the field. One was dressed as a player, one was dressed as a referee, and it caused a huge commotion on the field. And they obviously don't have the commentators in real life, so we're trying to figure out like what's going on, and we see a fight, and we're kind of like, what? And then when it's done, we just see people and security walking the people off the field.
Wow. Okay, so this was in 2011?
Yeah, I think I still have the ticket to this game.
A fake referee got on the field?
Yeah, I was at this game.
That is incredible. I did not know this story.
Yeah,
I don't even know how a fake referee gets on the field. That's pretty impressive.
You dress up as one.
He had the uniform and his acting skills were amazing.
He had like the shirt and like cargo shorts on, so I mean it was obvious. So like he goes next to the referees, and the referees are like, "Who are you?" And then he books it.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So you were in the stadium for that game.
Yes, I think I still have the ticket.
And then there was a fight between.
Yeah, because there was like commotion and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a fake ref on the field.
That's very. We might have to do more research about this and get back to it another week. But that's incredible. So we're gonna fast forward 11 years from 1975 to 1986. Number 4 ASU has already locked their position in the Rose Bowl with a 9-0-1 record, and U of A, ranked at number 14, upset the Sun Devils with a 106-yard interception return by Chuck Cecil. And U of A had a huge victory in that game, but ASU went on to win the Rose Bowl over Michigan, so the pain didn't last too long for the Sun Devils there. I think that is ASU's only Rose Bowl victory.
Yes, and the Wildcats have never been.
Just like your Arizona Cardinals. Sorry about that one. But let's fast forward a long time here to 2010. So the game is in overtime. The saint of a man, Nick Foles, I love him so much. Thank you for that Super Bowl. Tomorrow, actually, is the 4-year anniversary of the game that Nick Foles defeated Tom Brady, the greatest football game in the history of football, 4 years ago today. I would recommend.
Like the title greatest game is debatable, but whatever floats your boat.
So while NFL Network is airing all of Brady's old Super Bowls, NFL Network, make sure you air that one because that's very important in Tom Brady's career. His last Super Bowl, he loses to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Someone tweet at NFL Network right now.
They're currently airing the 2004 Super Bowl in which Brady beats the Eagles, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how Nick Foles caught the Philly special and Tom Brady dropped his. So, too bad, so sad, Tom Brady. Anyways, 2010, Nick Foles is playing for U of A. This is the only U of A player that I truly love. Nick Foles, he got me a Super Bowl, so I have to love him. It's
you
okay.
You only love him because he's an Eagle. You didn't love him when he was at Arizona.
No, I did not, but I come to respect him as a Wildcat. I don't respect the other legend, the U of A.
Gronkowski?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. See, he cheated for most of his Super Bowls, and we can get into that debate too with Deflategate and Spygate and all the other gates. But 2010 double overtime. ASU is up 30-23, and U of A scores a touchdown to make the game 30-29. Nick Foles, the legend himself, threw that touchdown. So then Alex Zendejas, who had already had a blocked extra point earlier in the game, lines up to kick the extra point. Now this is to tie the game in overtime, and James Brooks, he says no. He blocks it. It was a low little line drive kick, blocked by Brooks. ASU wins the game 30-29 in dramatic fashion. And then I understand that you were at a couple of Arizona State and U of A games.
Yes. Since I still like my Wildcats. No, come for me. But since I am from that region, I have gone to a few Territorial Cups. Before this year, I've been to two Territorial Cups. One in Tucson, one in Tempe. Arizona won my first one, and I want to say I was in 2008. But I honestly can't remember. I just remember going to school and saying, we got bragging rights, and no one really seemed to care. And then I want to say the next one was in 2013 in Tempe. It was in Tempe. I remember the Battle of the Bands that year was Lights by Ellie Goulding. And I remember I left my Arizona beanie because it was a cold game. It was a night game, so it was freezing. I left my beanie in the stand. As my dad were walking to the car, my dad goes, "They'll probably burn it."
This was 2013.
I want to say it was 2013.
I was also at that game, and I was the one that picked up this Arizona beanie, and I threw it in the trash. So it didn't end up in a fire, but it ended up in the trash. Little 11-year-old Jackson picked it up, and he was like, "No, this is not good." But I actually got to go to that game for a really cool reason. So my license plate is RMBR42. So remember 42 being Pat Tillman's number. We entered it in a license plate contest for Arizona State. We ended up getting 2 free tickets to that game, and we saw Arizona State absolutely kill the Wildcats in that game. I think they put up 56 points. It was very one-sided. 58 points. It was 58-21. Very lopsided game. I'm sure little Adri with her Arizona hat was not very happy.
The people in front of us, so these were our friends' tickets. So the people in front of us were all ASU fans, and the lady next to me was like, "I am so sorry."
Oh wow! Apologized for just destroying you.
Mhm.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Can't win them all.
And then, what is the other Territorial Cup game that you've been to?
Was this year's Territorial Cup. So that was a lot of fun. It was fun to go as a student, but I wasn't in the student section. I was in the band. So that was so much fun. Yeah.
And I know you wanted to go a little bit more into Battle of the Bands.
Oh yes. So obviously, if you don't know, at the Territorial Cup, the halftime, both the Pride of Arizona and Sun Devil Marching Band, they do a performance during halftime. And so it wasn't always like that. I found a story as to why we have Battle of the Bands. So in the late 70s, both schools hated each other, neck and neck. U of A graffitied. They did graffiti on Gamage, and then in Tucson, the ASU band would be pelted with food, drinks. When they were walking back to the buses, sprinklers would also turn on while they're walking to the buses.
Oh wow!
And so basically, when Tucson came up to ASU, same thing happened, except it was in Tempe this time. So in 1977, an ASU flag was lit on fire in front of the Sun Devil band while they were in the end zone ready to perform. And because of the hatred was so bad that both directors for both schools in the 80s were like, we need to stop this, we need to figure something out. And so they did. And so then so the home team will always do pregame while the visit, and then they'll come together, do a performance at halftime, and call it, and that's will be Battle of the Bands. But in the morning of the Territorial Cup, both schools go to a local high school where they perform their shows and then practice the halftime performance together, and this is called Battle of the Bands.
So what is it like being a part of that?
A lot of fun. Since I am from Southern Arizona, I have a lot of friends in the Pride of Arizona, so it was so fun seeing them, and I was like, I'm so proud of you guys. They play percussion, so it's so cool seeing your friends. We would go to U of A band day, a marching competition, and we'd be like, oh, I want to do that. And to see them actually do it was pretty special.
So I'm going to tap in with a trivia question here, and this will not be the only trivia question of the day. This one was given to me by a good friend. She has told me this one a couple of times. So, who performed at the first Super Bowl halftime show?
I know this one, the Pride of Arizona.
Zach Wargo, who let us into the studio today. If you are listening, she is now tied with you at 2-2 on our leaderboard. Congratulations, Adri.
Let's go.
She will have the chance to take the lead at the end of the show. If she doesn't get it right, I will tweet it out on my Twitter at JacksonWebster26. So we'll save that for about 6 minutes here. We'll be coming up on that. But the Territorial Cup Series, I want to get into that a little bit because this is something that, as an Arizona State student, I didn't even know that this was a thing. It encompasses the 20 varsity intercollegiate sports that Arizona compete head-to-head in, apparently due to the schools believing that the rivalry happens in all sports and not only football. So they will tally up points for each of the respective games, and at the end of the year, the winner will get the Territorial Cup, and it will be presented at that school. So pretty interesting. Arizona actually, despite getting blown out in football the last couple of years, it's now 5 straight victories for Arizona State. Arizona currently has the cup. They won 10-9 in the 2020-21 season. And historically, I believe Arizona also leads it. They lead 6-5, and there's one tie in 2012 and 2013. So very neck and neck since they started it in the 2009 season.
Interesting. I actually didn't know that.
So yeah, they'll tally up the points from each of the sports. So gymnastics, softball, baseball, basketball. Arizona will always get the points for basketball.
I better see everyone in that Inferno section on Monday cheering on the Sun Devils because I want the trophy.
Will you be there?
I'm going to be at the game with my dad.
You're going to be there cheering on the Sun Devils, correct? Are you going to be cheering on the school that you currently go to or not, Adriana?
I just hope both teams have fun.
Wow. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. We have a traitor on our hands. We have a spy in the studio. Like, come get her, guys. Come get her. She needs, How can you do that?
Simple.
Simple?
Just go team, go, and hope both teams have fun.
Are you going to make a sign that says, I hope both teams have fun?
No, I didn't get those tickets that close to the court.
No. Well, I hope you at least, cheer when, someone on ASU hits a shot or something, and, you kind of
very vocal.
Towards what team?
Yes.
I don't think that's a legitimate answer, Adriana. So, what if you had, what are you going to wear to this game? An Arizona hat and an Arizona State jersey?
I don't have hats.
Are you going to wear anything Arizona related?
I don't know. I haven't thought that far.
You haven't thought this far.
Thursday.
It is only Thursday. Anyways, moving on from the traitor talk, because Adriana is apparently a traitor here at Arizona State. What do you have to say to these allegations? No comment. Wow. So we're going to move on to On This Date. Now, on this date, we have a couple of Super Bowls that we want to talk about. February 3rd, the helmet catch, where Eli Manning prevented the Patriots from going undefeated as they beat the Patriots 17-14 in 2008. Do you have any recollection of the helmet catch?
Not really. Nope. Shout out to Eli Manning and mainly his mom for giving birth to Eli and stopping Tom Brady.
Twice. Stopped Tom Brady twice. Shout out to the NFC East and the Philadelphia Eagles for stopping him the third time.
Jackson.
I will always shout out my Eagles whenever I get the chance to, and I think you know that. But the other one, the Ravens, defeated the 49ers 34-31 in 2013 after a power outage in New Orleans. Jim and John Harbaugh, 2 brothers, coached against each other in this one, and that's kind of insane. I don't think we'll ever see that happen again.
I don't think so either. I remember watching that game. I didn't really care who won because my team wasn't in there, but I think I was cheering for the Ravens because purple's my favorite color.
Just purple because the Ravens?
Yeah.
I mean, that's solid. I was probably cheering for them because they were in the AFC. 49ers were in the NFC. And it was a bird team. I'll cheer for the bird teams in the AFC. I think there's only one bird team in the AFC. Is it the Ravens? We got the Cardinals, Eagles, Seahawks, and Falcons are all in the NFC, and the only AFC bird team is the Ravens.
Yeah.
So I was cheering for the Ravens, but they're also relatively close to Philadelphia, so I'll give them that. But that happened, and now we move on to the trivia question, where Adriana has the opportunity to take the lead in our kind of competition here. She has currently scrolled down to it, so I'm going to actually change it up on her a little bit. So give me a minute here while I pull this up.
If I stump you, do I get a point?
If you stump me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are we doing a reverse trivia question this week?
I guess so.
All right, fire away.
Okay, let me see if I... Oh my gosh, I'm so much pressure right now. So much pressure. Oh my gosh, wait, hold on.
Do you have one here? I can ask you one. I'm gonna ask you
Okay,
one.
what's yours?
Which NBA player leads the all-time most points just for dunks? Who has the most dunks all time?
Oh my god. I want to say Shaq.
Wrong.
No!
So I will tweet this one out later, and we will see who has the most dunks of all time in NBA history. If you get it right, you can either...
Can I answer now?
Did you look it up?
I did.
I mean, go ahead, I guess.
Is it Dwight Howard?
Yes, it is Dwight Howard. I believe he has 310. Can you double check that for me? 310 dunks.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
Most dunks in NBA history here.
Shaq is on the list, by the way.
Shaq is close, huh?
Shaq is close.
Okay, well, he's not the leader. I guess we'll give Adriana half a point because it took her 2. So she currently leads 2.5 to 2. What do you think about that, Adriana?
I'll take it. I'm gonna keep winning these points. I want the prize at the end.
You don't even know what the prize... I don't even know what the prize is.
Well, I want the prize.
Okay, well, we will see what the prize is. We will also see you all next week. Adriana, you want to say anything else?
Come out on Monday, cheer on the men's basketball team.
Which one?
On Monday.
Which, the Arizona State or Arizona? Because...
Arizona State.
Okay, good. See, good.
Okay.
Because
I believe there's some women's games happening this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I know tonight's the USC game, so we gotta get our boys hyped so we can bring the cup to Tempe.
And that'll do it for us today here from Weird with Webster. We will see you all next Thursday. Have a good one, everybody.